For a military veteran, finding a job can be a challenge. The Pew Research Center study says that challenge impacts nearly 200,000 veterans every year. Today, some advice from a Northport man who has been there. Our Brian Henry joining us from Tuscaloosa County. Now, Brian, his story has a good outcome, right?
That's right, Sarah. David Gillespie spent 6 years in the Navy. Gillespie left the military and just assumed once he left the military that he'd have no trouble locating a job right away. Well, he was wrong. Former Navy sailor David Gillespie is 10 years removed from the military, where he played a vital role in building submarines.
So I was a nuclear machinist mate. I was hired to basically run the machine or the engine room of a submarine.
David Gillespie decided he wanted to change in direction, left the Navy, and began to search for a job in the private sector. It was more challenging than he expected.
It's hard, yeah. It was a little bit tough because you came out of the military and there just wasn't anything readily available.
Gillespie says he never took it personally because he says his background in the Navy was very specialized.
And the great thing about what I did was that it was so technical that I had options. I could go into a nuclear power plant, I could go into a power plant, but I did not want to do that kind of work. Nuclear power was fine while I was in the Navy, but not something I saw myself doing in the future.
David Gillespie is among those 200,000 or so veterans who find locating a job after leaving the service to be more of a challenge than they expected. Gillespie points to the vast difference between the military and civilian life.
The culture shock is unbelievable. I mean, you see kids making $70,000 a year in a really well-paying job, and their pants are wrinkled.
David Gillespie ended up landing on his feet by opening a J-Dog franchise a year and a half ago, but realizes his fellow comrades are still searching. And as we get closer to Veterans Day, just a few days away, David Gillespie's advice is to plan ahead, take advantage of the resources in the military that focuses on the transition, again, from the military to civilian life. Contact the VA, and join the military groups such as the VFW and American Legion. In Tuscaloosa County, Brian Henry, WBRC, Fox 6 News, on your side.